Guys, we are now in Podluck. Kanye West's streams and airplay take a nosedive in wake of anti-Semitic comments. Thoughts?
I've been playing him more, I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah, that's just
on
me.
repeat. I was listening to Jail Part 2 last night and a couple of old songs from College Dropout.
Oh my God, every song on that album's a banger.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. He very effortlessly talks socio-political stuff without feeling like you're being beaten over the head with it in a way that music doesn't do as well as, I mean, movies and TV don't do it well either, but arguably for modern music, they don't do it as well.
Because think of a Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
He attempts to do the exact same thing and just utterly fails at it because it's preachy and it feels like it's, condescending and beating you over the head with messages.
Even like Tom McDonald, who I like as an artist and has music that I like his non-political music more than I like his political music.
Yeah.
Like the best song that he made was No Lives Matter, which is a political song, but then it never felt like the rest of the songs after that rose to what I felt was that level of talent lyrically or the way the song was produced. But in general, even if it's something you agree with, you just start to go like, yeah, I get it. But then again, I grew up in the era where I literally grew up in music that was supposed to be about death and drugs and every rap cliche was what I grew up with. So it was I almost went out of my way to prefer music that didn't have substance. I'm I don't want to hear. I want to hear music about doing drugs. I want to hear music about having sex. I want to hear music about gang activity. Literally stuff that was not relevant to my life as a child. But you like I said, white kids in the suburbs grew up and listened to rap ironically, whereas the people who actually lived that experience took something different from it. And for Kanye West, he rapped pretty effortlessly about the things that his family went through and what his people went through, as he would say. And
because it's more about himself than about society. Yeah. And with Kendrick Lamar, it's all about here's what's wrong with everyone else except me. And I'm the only one who has the clarity about it. But I need to sneeze so bad right now, and I can't.
Yesterday, it was right into the cough was right into the microphone.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm disgusting.
According to the latest data from Luminate, albums by Kanye West, who now goes by Yee. It's kind of like gender pronouns.
Yee?
In there. Did I say Yee? Yay.
How could you go to the dark side? It's yay.
But it's kind of like whenever when somebody's pronouns, they're like, who goes by they them pronouns?
Who goes by yay yem?
Who goes by yay yem? They are down 23%. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to live that down. Yay.
Yay. Yeah.
So who now goes by Yay, his streams are down 23% through October 20th as compared to the previous week. And airplay, spins on radio, have dropped off to the tune of 13% in the U.S.
So more people are torrenting his music?
I would have thought that it would have gone off more in the terrestrial radio world rather than the streaming world. Yeah. I feel like the stations have to deal with people calling and being like, why are you playing this bigot's music? Right. Rather than streaming, you're just but if look around, you're like, is anybody listening to me right now?
Somebody listening to privacy of their home,
If he's flying around more in the collective consciousness, then you're more likely to stream him, you would think. So maybe it's just more people are pirating his music, torrenting his music.
No, instead
of supporting him by streaming.
I might or might not have partaked in the pirating business back in the day.
Well,
but I have not done it.
He exclusively released one of his albums exclusively on his own $200 speaker devices.
What was that thing called?
I forget what it was called.
It looked exactly like one of the timed grenades from GoldenEye 007. The stem player.
Oh yes,
it looked like a time grenade from GoldenEye, and it's like Shane Cashman bought it. He has it.
What?
Dude. Yeah,
because he was like, I just need to play that album.
He's a Donda boy. He loves Kanye.
But yeah, I wouldn't have expected his streams to go down, but everyone's talking about him a lot more than they were.
Yep.
And I don't see that stopping or slowing down anytime soon because every day it's just something new. So recently he was dropped by his talent agency, CAA, and the CEO of a different talent agency, Endeavor, named Ari Emanuel, called for all of these brands working with Kanye to cut off ties with him. He said that silence is not an option in response to Kanye West's anti-Semitic comments in the business world specifically. So these businesses need to make an ethical decision to cut off ties with him.
My favorite
and
is
they
like
followed along.
Yeah, my favorite was like there was an article written about like banks should not be moral arbiters. ... Obviously, because they're talking like you who like literally bankrupted this like the entire country and had to be bailed out by our tax dollars in 2008. You're the moral arbiters.
Damn, that's crazy.
Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
Like
I bet that Gap is feeling really lucky they cut ties with Kanye when they did.
Back in,
I mean, really, it was more of Kanye's decision than theirs. Yeah. But before he started on this October tirade, every day it's a new controversy.
He should try to like make a brand that nobody would think could be cool again and make it. He should like get sponsored by Old Navy. And try to make like Old Navy like
and
high
it literally
fashion.
Would work.
Like he's like
crazily enough.
He's
like,
wearing that famous Old Navy shirt with the American flag on it that literally every girl in the South wore to every 4th of July party for like 20
he could
years.
do something like that, like what happened for Champion, what happened for Puma, where that where they sit in the market just changed all of a sudden, and then you realized one day that you don't find Champion at Walmart anymore.
I watched the thing that said Champion goes through phases where they're out and then back in like every 10 years.
No way.
Yeah, where it's like there's like it's like this weird thing where like Champion fluctuates, where it's like people are like Champion's cool again, and then it's cool for like a couple of years, and then they're like suddenly nobody gives a crap about them for 10 years, and then somebody comes back and is like Champion's cool again, and then it's cool for another couple of years, so they got to hold on between down periods.
Well, Adidas just dropped Kanye as a business partner. They've dropped Yeezy, and it was after a lot of pressure on social media, and they waited as long as they possibly could to announce that. It's funny because the actual announcement says we're cutting ties immediately. We don't stand with anti-Semitism.
Immediately, kind of
late. And it's like immediately, as in 3 days after, or like a week after the news initially broke, because he wanted to see how people would respond to it.
That's kind of the struggle of living in a world now where the news cycle is literally 24 hours and there's no there is no downtime anymore. You used to be able to just wait this type of stuff out and it would just disappear.
Well, sometimes it does, but
not in this
Kanye
case.
is still trending like almost every day,
to the point where we got sick of talking about it because there's just like literally it's like we'll be like doing the show and an update will come in as we're doing the show. I'm like, I don't have time to read that right now. We're in the middle of the show.
Weirdly enough, only like 2 weeks ago it was reported in Page Six that Kanye showed a pornographic film to board members at Adidas in a meeting with them.
It's my favorite part.
To demonstrate to them what their business relationship is like. Now, I don't know what position Kanye would be. Like, what is he saying? What is he implying? What character is he in the pornographic film? What character is Adidas in the film? I would like to know. What was the exposition to the story?
The meeting with the rapper turned designer says he holding his phone horizontally in front of the businessman while a video played. After several seconds, one of the men asked, "Is this a porn movie?" To which he replied, "Yeah." Jesus Christ, one of them let out. Like, I'm just picturing all of these just stodgy old dudes just like trying to play it cool and not being able to.
The apparent point of the X-rated film was to draw a parallel between its plot and West's business dealings with Adidas, which handles the manufacturing of Yeezy.
We don't deserve this man.
So I would love to know in the plot who... How were they, interacting? Who was representing Adidas? Who was representing Kanye?
Is the executive the stepsister in the washing machine?
Right. We need answers.
Help me, Step-Ye.
I weirdly enough, I didn't see the headlines about this when it initially came out. This was from October 10th. But yeah, apparently that didn't prompt them to end their business relationship with Yeezy. It was just
he's
the
an
money
artist.
was just too good.
He's eccentric. Okay, he's
He's allowed to do that.
When you're rich, you're not weird. You're eccentric.
Yep.
Bill Murray, he's not weird. He's eccentric.
So only following his tweets, specifically his bizarre proclamation that he would go, quote, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
He should like.
Did they reconsider their business relationship? And it took them still many days to figure out what they would do.
Well, I mean, when you're a company that big,
they took I think a 17.5% drop in stock price, which is actually what caused them to switch sides on this issue.
Yes.
Because like if they had not faced a financial consequence, I think they would have stayed in business with him.
They're on the side of higher stock prices.
They think the short-term loss of cutting ties with Yeezy makes up for the long-term loss that they saw ahead of them if they had to keep answering for all of his controversial statements.
It's
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's fair.
You know what?
I mean, really, Adidas only has to look out for themselves.
Yeah.
They're a business.
Where does he go after this?
I mean, Kanye doesn't have to have a business partnership with literally any brand. He's his own brand.
Yeah.
You should do it with Jinko jeans.
They're back, dude. Those things, those are expensive. Those cost like $150.
And Kanye loves baggy clothes.
Yeah. There you go.
They'll have their own like big like. Well, no, because he wears like.
He wears rain boots.
He wears tight pants with rain boots. He wears baggy sweatshirts.
He's done both. He's done both like skinny jeans and baggy like cargo pants.
He can just buy H&M or buy American Apparel.
Just do something weird. Well, he can't buy American Apparel because Dove Charney has a problem with him.
That's true.
He has beef with Dove Charney. Weirdly enough, Dove Charney is not the person I would expect to be a moral arbiter in this day and age. But
as if any fashion,
the way things have panned out, that happened.
Does anybody else notice that Kanye West is like the 2022 race-swapped version of 2004's Mel Gibson?
Kind of. I mean, in like a...
Why is that?
Well, Mel Gibson was going through, like, he was drinking a lot at that time. He was going through... Have you ever noticed how that... Whenever they
was
bring
that
up
when
his,
Mel Gibson said anti-Semitic things too?
Yeah, that's when the Passion of the Christ came out.
But remember, when he did that, but nobody ever brings up the Alec Baldwin thing with him, like, calling his daughter, like, a fat pig or whatever.
Oh,
he
my
did.
gosh.
That I finally heard that audio tape for the first time, and it's literally like listening to his character from 30 Rock yell at a child. It's awful.
Yeah.
But
there are some celebrities who just don't face consequences for the things they said.
Alec Baldwin's like, I literally can shoot people.
I saw someone tweet today, actually. It's funny how Kanye is being held to account for his anti-Semitic comments, but you guys completely ignored it when Johnny Depp said that stuff. And then I looked up like Johnny Depp anti-Semitic comments, and then the only things that came up were the fact that Camille Vasquez has dropped Kanye as a client.
See, that makes me sad. I really wanted to think of Camille Vasquez, hot super lawyer, who just gets to defend anyone, no matter what. Like, I love the idea of the lawyer who doesn't give a crap.
Well, even Camille Vasquez has a standard. Okay. Yes. I wasn't seeing that coming.
Maybe Kanye
she just wanted the most controversial client possible.
Maybe Kanye can make a documentary about himself, like Madonna is doing right now.
I think he did, dude.
Well, he's making he can make not a documentary, but like an inspired by, like an actual movie.
Oh, okay.
Usually the draw to a documentary like that is like, you haven't seen them this open and vulnerable before. But with Kanye, it's like he's only open and vulnerable. Like, he just did a 4-hour-long podcast with Lex Friedman talking about like his personal feelings about like trauma and race relations and I think that's why he's family. And
it's like, as much as I don't like the stuff that he said, I'm drawn to people that are just can't help but be that open with the world. Like, wear your heart on your sleeve in a way where it's like he's not going into it in a world where everything that we analyze is a bunch of media trained scumbags who are saying the exact right thing to elicit the exact right reaction that they want, run by a team of losers whose jobs are to make them sound as inoffensive and morally virtuous as possible.
Because even their vulnerability is marketable.
Yeah.
Kanye's vulnerability is not marketable.
It's the opposite of marketable. And there's something about it where I can be against what he said and I can disagree heavily with a lot of the things that he's, the way in which he's saying it without, me and you watched an interview with him one time and we just couldn't get over how sincere he seemed to be with the lady he was talking to in the interview. And there's something to that where maybe we look for a middle ground. Maybe there's like a middle ground between like media trained scumbag and Kanye where we find some common ground where you can be a little bit more open and vulnerable and show who you really are without also saying really, really offensive, anti-Semitic or awful things.
The hope would be that when he was with Kim, then it would rub off on Kim and she would become less of a media trained robot.
Yeah.
But it didn't work. Even she's come out and denounced Kanye, essentially. She said, hate speech is never okay or excusable. I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric towards them to come to an immediate end. So she denounced him without even naming him. It's
Chloe
really
did too.
despicable because in the past she has come to his defense in other times when he's said things that piss people off.
Didn't she just say something really recently about who was the lady that her ex that Ray J was dating and he called her like an old hag or something like that?
Whitney Houston. She called an old hag and a C word and just like a crackhead and all this terrible stuff.
Kanye should make
in this voicemail Candace Owen leaked.
Kanye should make a Instagram post says, I stand with old hags everywhere.
I heart old hags. No, I stand with old fags and the hateful rhetoric against old hag C words.
Yeah.
Must come to an immediate end, and then just doesn't name her.
There's also we have a comment it's from Ori Nabisco says, it's weird how you can say the most horrible things about Christians but can't say anything about Jews. That is a double standard right now.
There's another double standard that people are bringing up about this situation, that Kanye said a lot of controversial racial statements in years past, and never once has the backlash been this strong and swift.
Yeah.
He said things like suggesting to the TMZ newsroom in 2018 that slavery in America was a choice for the black community. I don't want to take that out of context and villainize him for saying that. I think he had his reasons, and I don't entirely know what he meant, but it's up to him to explain himself on that. But he's made equally controversial, polarizing statements about racial politics and race relations before he ever said anything about Jewish people, yet the reaction was never this strong. His business relationships at the time were just fine, and his own wife came to his defense in that time period. So people are saying, like I see this tweet that said, black people were still buying Yeezys, still going to Sunday service, going to Donda shows, watching Kanye's interviews, listening to his albums, calling him a genius. Black peers, executives, and fans. That's why Kanye's anti-black speech didn't cancel him. And they say there's a double standard in how the media reacted to Kanye's speech that was considered anti-black compared to his speech that is considered anti-Semitic today.
And let's face it, like when he's talking in these things, I don't know how much of it is like he just doesn't know how to filter through it and say it in a way that's going to like resonate with these people. But also, it's not gonna matter because he's saying something that's so antithetical to what they believe that they wouldn't ever. Let's face it, the media is not steel manning any of your arguments, but he's not helping himself with the way he says a lot. But that's the world we live in, right? Where you have to assume that every argument that you ever make to anything that goes against the narrative will be straw manned to the extreme, and they will make you out to be really dumb.
Here's a straw man. Adam22 tweeted today, Kanye spent 20 years building one of the biggest empires in music and fashion and threw it all away because he wanted to repeat Candace Owens' talking points on TV.
What were her talking points? I never heard anything like that.
What a shameless straw man.
What's his name? Ethan Klein. That's what he was saying, was that Candace Owens was influencing
They want her to be the puppet master in this story. Yeah. And it's like, I'm sure they barely even talk or see each other.
There's a conservative woman who doesn't get it taken easy on. They go after. I don't think they take it easy on Candace Owens.
No.
Oh no.
I think they go after her pretty hard.
But she's conservative and black though.
That's a double threat, yeah. But she she knows the facts. She's more of a public intellectual. She's more combative. She's
definitely more combative.
She takes no shit.
Yeah.
It's definitely a unique situation there.
Yep.
But she's also one of the most successful.
Yes.
But it's just like such a straw man to say that the purpose of all of this noise that Kanye has made in the media recently is that he wants like political clout. Yep. Like he is clearly going through something difficult mentally, emotionally. He's got strained relationships with his family members. They're coming out and denouncing him on social media. They're not talking to him personally. Every time that someone tries to have a private conversation with him, he publicizes it because he doesn't trust anyone. And he feels like he's getting attacked from all sides. I don't think that his motivation right now is that he wants to be the next Charlie Kirk. Like, what?
No.
It's just ridiculous.
It's just Yee being Ye.
So what does he do to fix it? Is there literally a way to fix it?
I don't think he wants to. At this point, I don't see him stopping this, this upcoming like train wreck anytime soon. It's not slowing down. More headlines are to come, I'm sure. But
thank you.
Do you think he's going to put out an album that I don't know.
I don't even know if he's making music right now.
Yeah,
I thought he just put one out. He put out like so many in the last couple
Donda
years.
too, last year.
Okay, yeah, so that one, but
seems like he's focusing more on
anything but music right now.
Yeah, like his Donda Academy and Donda University plans, and then this ecosystem.
The ecosystem. The
self-sustaining city plan. I don't even know what direction he's going anymore, if there is one at all. But the fact is, he doesn't need the backing of an Adidas or even of a Kim Kardashian or famous friends to be Kanye West. Like, he is a powerhouse in his own right in his industry, and there's nothing that they can do to stop him. He's anti-fragile. He will never lose his wealth. He is pretty much as powerful as you can get.
I think the refusal to back down on anything he says scares the crap out of them in a lot of ways, because they can't bully him the way they can bully so many other people. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I have a hard time with it because there's a lot of in there that I just don't want to touch. There's a lot of stuff that he goes into that I'm just like, look, I don't.
I'm not interested in everything he says, but I have to respect his sincerity.
The stuff we touched on today, a lot of it is the idea that his airplay has suffered, that's analytical. The video of him showing porn to a bunch of executives, that's funny, but the rest of it, it's almost too personal to me to want to even comment on.
Yeah, we're looking at what is happening and the facts, but there is a person at the center of it, and that's difficult.
Maybe it's easier when it's celebrities, because so much of when celebrities try to get personal, it comes off as fake. Mm-hmm. That when Kanye does it, it feels so almost jarringly sincere that you feel weird, like you're eavesdropping on a conversation you're not supposed to be a part of, except for it's being videotaped and shown to the world. But it's is that much sincerity that frequently almost scary in a way? You're this doesn't feel normal or real to see somebody being this honest all the time about what they believe.
Yeah.
So. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.